about the environment and animal sex determination. So the introduction, sex determination is a process by which organisms develop as a male and a female, or in some species as intersex individuals. These mechanics are in mostly are influenced in uh, reproductive roles, genetic diversity, and popularity diversity as well. All of which is pivotal to the evolution's process and the species survival. These are the two main types of sex determinations. Um, Genetic sex, which is also abbreviation for GSD, and the environmental sex, which is an abbreviation of ESD. Sex is established by the genetic factors such as sex chromosomes at the conception and remains constant through life. ECD and ECD is particularly important because it allows population to respond adaptively to environmental change and adjust sex ratios, and that's what I'm going to be talking to you more about today. So what is sex environmental? So environmental sex determination um, exemplifies a complex interplay between organismal development and ecological context, um, raising complementing questions at the intersection of the developing biology, evolutionary, and ecologically and environmentally science. It underscores the necessity for interdisciplinary approaches to understand the um, the big concept of the ramifications of anthropologic and environmental change on the biology, diversity, and population dynasties. So, without the domain of the ECD, the most extensive studies and the paradigmatic example is the temperature dependent sex determination. Abbreviation would be the TSD, widely observed in numerous reptilians tags such as turtles, crocodiles, and some sorts of lizards. In these systems, fish is certainly a intervertebrate species. It's kind of hard to necessarily put an exact word to it. Uh, Further illustrated diversity of ECD mechanisms do not only temperature but also factors such as pH and social structure and population density. Types of environment, sex, determination, temperature. Like I was telling you, temperature is a big type of some sort of play. I remember I work at an animal hospital and we've seen a turtle and we were trying to do something or it was giving birth, so it has to be in a some sort of temperature environment for those eggs to hatch. So in this case I use that example. Many turtles, crocodiles, and fish and sex and offsprings is determined by the initial temperature. um, Social sex determination. In some species the social environment influence sex determination. For instance, a certain fish like a clownfish, the absence of presence of domain individuals can trigger sex change among other members of the group. Chemical influence as well, environmental chemicals, and including pollution or natural occurring compound can also disrupt the whole kind of system, and whether knowing it could be choosing which gender it could go to. As well as the nutrition in some species it's available for the quality of food resources can also base on which sex it could be. Temperature dependent sex determination. It is highly specialized modes of sex determination observed in certain reptilians, like I was telling you. Um, uh, the Unlike genetic sex determination, no systems where chromosome composition dictates sexual fates. This temperature controls activity and key enzymes such as aromatase, which governs the conversion of to estrogens, and ultimately steering gonadal differentiations towards testes or ovaries. The evolution and ecological ramifications of TSD are profound, inventing cross display in inquiry into development biology, evolution theory, and conservation science. TSD patterns. TSD patterns. Temperature dependent sex determination, other known as TSD, in reptilians is controlled by incubation, which is certainly like a make sure like it's a glass, so we can make sure that the temperature is certainly where it needs to be. High temperature produce females, while in crocodilians, both high and low temperatures can produce females. And intimidation temperature produces male. Intermediate temperature produces male. TSD may also provide adaptive benefits, but climate change is a disruptive sex ratio that can determine which sex it's going to be. In some cases, some of the big things would be a sea turtle or any kind of turtle as well. I did mention that it is some sort of temperature kind of balance that needs to have in order to figure out or to determine which sex it's going to be in later on. Rising global temperatures have caused sea turtles population to become heavily female based due to the temperature depending on sex determination, endangering genetic diversity and long-term viability by limiting the number of breeding males. So as well with the clownfish, social sex determination in fish and individuals to change sex based on social heresy. I did read on a separate novel or a separate article that if a clownfish and a female fish are together, and if the female clownfish ends up passing or getting eaten, or anything happens to it, that male fish will turn into the female fish, and then that female fish will find another male fish, and they should be together from there. So in any other way, you could say that the male fish will turn into that female, replacing that role of the previous female. This flexibility, driven by hormonal change, helps maximize reproductive success and adapt to change group structures. Chemical environmental influence. Chemicals including PSBS, BPA, and interfere with hormonal regular change in both wildlife and humans, often resulting in reproductive abdominal abnormalities and pollution declines. In particular, has been shown to feminize male amphibians by disrupting their balance. These effects emphasize the pressing need for improving regulation and interdisciplinary research to ecological and health risks. Um, nutrition nutrition influence. Honeybees can differentiate vividly, illustrates how environmental factors nutrition interface with endocrine and epigenetic mechanisms to the divergent development outcome for single genotypes. um, at the molecular level, royal jelly suppressed DNA, reducing DNA and genetic pathways. Genetic behind ESD, environmental sex determination as observed in many reptiles and as well fish, operate throughout their environment. Cues such as temperature, which regulates the male and female type of genetic side. This process is further complicated. Modifications such as changes in the DNA, whether it's the amphibians or the fish, which is not only immediate gene expression in response to environmental triggers, but can also have some sort of shift in that due to those changes. Amplification and significance. Population biology underpins critical advancements across conservation biology, climate change, and agriculture by offering quantitative frameworks such as minimum viable population. This is an access, extinction risk, and informed uh, management, particular in fragment landscapes where metapopulation theory highlights the importance of conservity. Issues and conflicts. Environmental factor, particular temperature and chemical pollution, is a major kind of shift that the animals don't have control of necessarily. I would say that the pollution and whole type of climate change wouldn't be necessarily, it would be a shift for them because it's something that they wouldn't even expect or something that they can't control. So that would be a big shift into determining those kind of situations. It could evolve as an adaptive mechanism by optimizing fitness in stable environments. Climate change and widespread chemical pollutions now disrupt these systems, leading to skewed sex ratios, like I just mentioned, and reduced genetic diversity, meaning that one could be like a certain area can just be certain males and then no females would be there, or it could be the opposite where it's only just females and then no males. Solutions and further directions. The interplay between environmental conditions and animal determination represents the significant aspect of development in biology and far-reaching ecological and environmental solutions. In reptiles, such as turtles, temperature determination is also key. Knowing that what temperature a certain turtle should be hatched in is also a major key, and how long it should be there. Again, with the clownfish as well, determining whether certain changes like that, the population of it being more females than males, then that most likely will be a female due to the population of it just being females. And as well as the climate, as knowing that the changes and shifts like that could be some sort of shift for the animals, knowing that whatever they're doing, they could be doing wrong, so they could shift into something else. Recognizing the pollution and complex of these systems underscore the need of interdisciplinary research and to predict species response to environmental change and develop adaptivity. Conservation strategies informed by development, ecological, and interdisciplinary principles. In conclusion, the strong influence of environmental variables and sex determination challenge the traditional genetic model, revealing sex as a adaptive and dynamic trait shaped by ecological pressures. This complexity has critical implications for conservation as shift in factors like temperature can disrupt sex ratios and threaten popular variable exemplified by feminization by sea turtles population due to climate change. Addressing these challenges demand interdisciplinary strategies that intergenetics, development, biology, and ecologicals to support species resilience in an era of rapid environment transformation. And these are my references, and thank you so much for listening.